welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Atiku. Joining me in the studio as always, I have with me Ifoma Oji. Good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon. I'm very well.
You look very well.
Oh, thank you.
How are you planning for the weekend? Because just till tomorrow we have, thank God it's Friday.
I'm yet to decide. Yeah, but I know I must definitely have fun.
That's it though. You must have fun. Find ways to have fun.
Definitely.
But it's sad that the students in Ekiti State are not having fun with the situation with their classrooms. Now, children in Ekiti have now been forced to fetch water where a school used to stand. No classrooms, no learning. Just collapsed roof and a government missing in action. In London, Edo State Governor Monday Okwebuhu is seen addressing a crowd. The twist, report says it was staged. Audience allegedly hired. Not even Edo indigents. Meanwhile, Abuja is finally reacting to Nigeria's deep-rooted academic fraud. Tinubu's government has ordered a nationwide verification of degrees. The message, no more fake certificates in the system. These stories, I don't know where to start from, but let's go to Ekiti State for a minute and feel the pulse of what these students are going through in Ekiti right now. We can see a video where they are scooping. The water is not even something to just sweep off or, joke about. They are scooping water in a place that was supposed to be or supposedly a classroom. And instead of learning now, they are scooping water from a leaking roof. And this is really saddening because every time we come here and we say, oh, there have been misappropriation of funds, people, the government siphoned funds and are spending on 50 kVA generators, 4.5 billion naira budgeted for that, 20 billion budgeted for SUVs, 18 billion spent on private jets in the last 6 to 8 months. These are the people it affects the most. Now, the actual people that this money is supposed or ought to be budgeted for, like the students now in this school in Ekiti State who do not have a roof over their head and have now been reduced to scooping water when they should be learning. But Ifoma, what's your take?
My heart bleeds, with a scene like this. I can't literally explain how bad I feel watching a video like this. This roof did not just fall because probably the magnitude of the rain, it didn't fall, but it fell because of years of neglect.
Yes.
It fell because of years of diversion of funds. It fell because our politicians never miss opportunities to jet around the world talking about reforms, talking about development, whereby children, the leaders of tomorrow, the institution that is supposed to be sacred, is left in a situation like this. My heart goes out to every school that have been, flooded. Look at it. It's looking like it's a pond where students, instead of learning, instead of developing themselves academically, this is what they are resulting to, scooping water.
Really heartbreaking.
It pains me. It pains me because I don't see a reason whereby these people will be just like what you talked about, misappropriating funds. And the pain, another pain here is the fact that they would tell you that they've channeled this so amount of money into the educational system. If these monies have been channeled to educational system, will we be seeing situations like this? Are we supposed to be seeing this? These people don't fail to appall. They don't fail to surprise me every single time. And they have no shame. They have no human sympathy or even empathy left in them. They don't. The only thing that these people are interested in is everything that has to do with their selfish interest.
Yes.
It is so sad
to
see that we've reduced a sacred sanctuary to things like this?
Ifoma, you've said it all, but we're also going to welcome our analyst in person of Mr. Maxwell Okoma joining us via Zoom. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Good evening, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
All right, welcome to the program for today. Before you came on board, Ifoma and I were just having a conversation regarding what happened in Ekiti State with school children seen scooping water from a collapsed roof. And Ifoma just talked about the fact that funds that were meant for scenarios like this or situations like this are constantly being misappropriated. And at the end of the day, these are the people that feel the brunt of all this. Now, my question to you is, first of all, give us your take on this, on the entirety of this video, and then what do you think is the stance of the Ekiti State government in all of this, sir? Mr. Maxwell, did you hear that?
Yes, I heard you. I don't know. It looks like my network is having some issues this afternoon, but can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can.
All right. So about the issue in Ekiti State. So Ekiti State has had several deficits in education over the years. Ekiti State is doing poorly in terms of infrastructure, both road infrastructure, schools, healthcare. They have a lot of deficits, but it's unfortunate that this is happening in Ekiti State recently with the downpour or with the rainy season. But let us take our eyes a little bit away from what the children are going through and also ask ourselves, what is the government doing about this? So even if children were made to go through all of this, is the government proactive to see that these things do not happen or they do not take place?
Yeah.
So I think that Ekiti State government must ensure that education becomes a priority, because we can't have children, the numbers for out of school children are already skyrocketing. We can't have school children who are already learning in dilapidated classrooms, having to do this instead of going through their learning processes. So it's a problem that we are experiencing this, and children as small as this, these are videos that actually shows Nigeria in a bad light. So I think that the government should do something as soon as possible about it.
As soon as possible, that is the message. Now, to you, Ifoma, earlier on we saw in the news where the Ekiti State governor was being praised in public for his infrastructure, his attention to infrastructure in Ekiti State. Now, can you say that a governor is doing so much with the infrastructure of a state when there are still schools like this?
He is not doing anything left for me. I mean, when you're touching lives, it shouldn't be in a particular community. It should cut across all, the regions in the state.
Yes.
Now we're seeing what Alex Oti is doing. We're seeing it clearly that he's affecting the lives of everybody living in Abia State. He can walk freely on the road without any, form of attack from any citizens, because he's doing what he's supposed to do as the sitting governor. So if this man is really doing what he's supposed to do, we're not supposed to be seeing things like this. So education in Nigeria should be the #1 priority of every nation, apart from, development in things like the infrastructure, what do they call it, oil and the rest of them. Education should be #1 until we start prioritizing education as something that is extremely sacred. I was marveled, and I was kind of tired somehow with what I saw the First Lady post on her a day before, is it 2 days before her birthday, about the fact that she wanted people to contribute for the National Library. It's not supposed to be so. I know I made a comment. It's not supposed to be so. This is something that we're supposed to, hold as something very sacred. It's supposed to be #1. So until we prioritize education and the leaders, because these children are seen as our eyes, our ears, and our future tomorrow. If we don't prioritize them, if we don't prioritize them, the nation is moving towards doom.
All right, now, thank you very much, Ifoma. To you, Mr. Maxwell, now, do you think that the Commissioner for Education should resign if we still have things and issues and scenarios like this? And another thing, do you think the State House of Assembly is doing enough, or should they step in now?
Well, in Nigeria, it would be asking for too much for a government official to resign from office. I've not seen it, except where criminal matters come up against such individual. But the Nigerian space is not where politicians resign from office out of ineptitude. In saner climes, by now, the commissioner should have resigned. And if he fails to do so, the state governor would probably have sacked him, at the point.
Yeah.
But what we see is because the failure is from the top. It's not just about the commissioner in charge of education, in charge of healthcare or such other institutions, but the problem is right from the top of the executive arm. There is no serious leadership. There's no state governor whom this is happening, and he would not show presence at the site.
Yes.
Or aides who work for him will presence and show immediate, response, quick response by relief, by name it. You see, one of the things that we should treat with utmost urgency and concern in Nigeria is education. Believe you me, in Nigeria, we do not have any other thing that we may have to fall back to. Agriculture, the government cannot even leverage agriculture anymore due to the insecurity in the country.
Exactly.
Even those who are doing businesses find it hard to survive. Overtaxation, problem of establishing businesses, inaccessibility to business loans, soft loans, they don't exist. So if we cannot even take education serious, then we are not even concerned about our future. So the commissioner should resign. The state governor should actually sit up. I don't know how much they budgeted for education in Ekiti State, but I believe that it should be somewhere within hundreds of millions for a state as Ekiti State. So if they are not doing anything with this and they are just paying salaries of civil servants, then there is a problem.
There is a problem, Mr. Maxwell, because you asked the question now, not knowing how much exactly was budgeted for education. Now, to you, Ifoma, we've seen that a lot of states came out to actually say that their state allocation grew massively as a result of fuel subsidy and all of that. And most of these state governors also came out to campaign for the rerun or for the second tenure of the current president. Now, if they can publicly come out to say that their state allocation was increased, it has improved massively, and we are seeing things like this in the media now, how do we hold them accountable? Because they are shooting themselves in the leg. They've come out to say that they have had a high increase in allocation, but we still have issues like this.
With this video right now, and probably other videos that might suffice or has been in the social media space that we don't even know about, I think it is time for us to start shoving it in their faces. It's time for us to show them. You said that you have created more this thing. Then we need to see it go into this, channel it into all these areas so that we know that at least that reform you're talking about is working. Because as a matter of fact, it is not. It is not. It is not at all. And we are talking about education. Mr. Maxwell mentioned the fact that we have to, education is one thing that we need to rely on as a country. And now talking about education, we are going to link this to the other story where, the federal government is calling out a crackdown on fake degrees. Now, this has caused a lot of reactions, and I'm just going to
just give us a breakdown of what people are saying on X. So people came out to say that, oh, you want to crack down fake certificate. That's not a problem, but can it start at Aso Rock?
Exactly.
Now, I don't know why they asked that question. Do you? Okay, some people also said that it's not a problem for them to, crack down on fake certificates, but it should start from the presidency. That is the one thing people were saying, but in different ways and in different forms and styles. Everybody is saying start at the presidency. And this just goes to show that even though this is a good cause, whereby you are looking at, the other day we talked about the fact that the Commissioner for Finance, was it in Taraba State, was now found. They saw that video where a woman came out to write an exam for the lady, and it went viral and all of that. Now, what the federal government is trying to do exactly, what they're trying to do is to make sure that every public office holder, that your academic documents are verified. Now, they are putting up a whole body to oversee that action, but people they've taken their mind off of that message and they are now pointing fingers at the presidency. Now, do you think, Ifoma, that this will be achievable with the type of tone that we have currently?
I don't see it, being achieved. It's not like there's no possibility, but I don't really see it, because these people that are bringing out this new development, I think they need to, just like you said, it needs to start from Aso Rock. We already know that the president have some controversies concerning his educational certificate in Chicago. And I think there was a certain time that, I don't know if he's a resident or a citizen of Chicago, was talking about probing into his degrees. The degrees he claims
made attempts.
Yes,
made attempts to do that.
And then his advisor, the president's advisor, now sent, I don't know if it was a petition, but I know he wrote a letter, to protect the listing of the president, the document of the president, saying that it was an invasion of privacy if they should probe into it. So I think if something like this should happen or should come into existence, then we need to start from the president. And as we are starting from the president, according to what they say here, from October 6th, our president, we need to verify that your certificate, that your degree in Chicago, and it should cut across all the governors in the state.
Yes, that's what they want to do.
Yes, including Monday also. It should cut across all of them. And then I think they say something about if you are not credible, or if you are found unqualified, or if you faked your this thing, that you might stand a chance of maybe being sacked from your current job. So I think that is a good way to evict these people from those positions, because I know that most of them are not qualified enough to be in that position. Let it not be that they are creating or trying to implement this thing on civil societies that that they are struggling every day to make ends meet, or teachers are struggling every day. Yes, we know that it's important, but what I'm saying is, let it start from Aso Rock.
Let it start from Aso Rock. Now, to you, Mr. Maxwell, I want to ask for your take, because, to be honest, at the end of the day, we cannot ignore the glaring fact that the president has had some controversies, a lot of controversies, when it concerns certificates, his educational background, and all of that. Now, we have that on one side, and I want you to give us your take on that. But also, now let us also look at the bigger picture here and the benefits that might come out from this. Now, if there is going to be a genuine crackdown on illegal certificates or illegal academic documents, this invariably means that people who got into positions of power or any public office position now would lose their jobs. And do you think that this will hold water, this will stand, and will it now lead or cause people that have the right qualifications to now have access to this job? That means, I'm asking, are we going to see a pool whereby, even though there's going to be losses concerning jobs, now there'll be more opening for people to get jobs, those that are qualified?
All right, thank you very much for that question. This is a very, very interesting conversation. The reason is the role it plays in Nigeria and how Nigeria is seen in the Committee of Nations. Now, it is a very good development where a government comes out to say, we want to verify the people who go into our workforce, into the civil service, and to be sure that their documents are properly checked and that there are no forgery. You know that forgery has been a very serious issue for Nigerians, even abroad. It is good news. But you begin to ask yourself, why are we getting this feedback from citizens who should appreciate this news? The reason is not far-fetched. We have crowded ourselves with controversies of certificate forgery. Now, some of them include the highest office of Nigeria, which is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bola Tinubu till today is still shrouded in secrecy and issues surrounding forgery of certificates. We have about 5 date of births that are available to the public that are the date of birth of Bola Tinubu. We have issues around Chicago State University on his educational certificate. I also like to remind you that Atiku Abubakar has had issues with certificate forgery. We had that of Salisu.
Exactly. Buhari,
that's Salisu Ibrahim, or what?
Buhari, Salisu Buhari.
Who was at the time the Speaker of the House of Reps. We also have Peter Amba, Governor of Enugu State. We have Obaseki, who is former Governor of Edo State. We have Lucky Ayedatiwa, that is the Governor of I think Ondo State. I don't know. A whole lot of them. You can continue listing. These are politicians who hold office of great importance in Nigeria, but are still shrouded in the issues of forgery. So we begin to ask, these laws being made for the commoners, are they being made for just citizens, that people who hold political office cannot be checked? Recall that even the Constitution has prescribed that anybody who has been found to have forged certificate should not hold the office of governor of the state or office of president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, these are the issues. I also like to draw your attention, Sharon, that they said that there is a database, that is the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank. Go online and look at that website. That is databank.net.gov.ng. That website is not functional. You cannot access the website. It's not lead you anywhere. So where is the database that they expect institutions of learning, secondary, primary, tertiary institutions to put these certificates as a repository for people to be able to confirm and verify certificates? There is nowhere available. So what are we really doing? If websites cannot function in Nigeria, how do you expect such an organization or a parastatal of government to be able to verify original and fake certificates to Nigerians? So these politicians are not serious in my perception, and in my view, there are a lot of ghost workers in the Nigerian system. We don't have a good check. And this is actually an indictment on this government, that the person who occupies the first office of Nigeria is still shrouded in such controversies, that we still have issues surrounding databases in Nigeria. Also, Tijani, who was appointed minister, has not been able to deliver with the high expectations we had of that office, and his person as a youth with experience. So we just see that the government is only interested in lying to the people and ensuring that only the commoners, only the masses are made to actually bend to the dictates of these laws, and not politicians. So the law only listens to the whims and caprices of political office holders, and it's a shame in our current entity.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Maxwell, for that contribution. It is really appalling when we hear things like this, because if you're being honest, this is supposed to make Nigerians happy, but now it just seems as though it is coming from the wrong people, from the wrong system, and it is now targeted at the civil society rather than the elites and the politicians, or just everybody in general. Now, still talking about appalling situations, we are going to take a look at what happened in the UK now. So your friend, Governor of Edo State,
can never be,
was seen addressing a UK crowd. Now, when he was addressing that crowd, we're going to take a quick look at that video before I give my comments on that. But he was addressing the UK crowd, and he was saying a lot of things, how the economy has been stabilized and the president's made some reforms, though painful, has long-term benefits and all of that. But let's just take a quick look at the video before we continue.
Today, Nigeria is very safe for investment. The economy is growing. The World Bank, the IMF, have rated us very high. The president has been able to stabilize our economy. For years now, you can see that the rate to a dollar is stable. So that is stabilization. The president has been able to bring about reforms that are very, very painful. On the long run, it will put Nigeria on the right track. To me, that is the kind of man I should follow. That is why I was quick to say, I am promising Mr. President. Today, I'm even very happy to hear that we have over 2 million people in UK here. So I promise Mr. President 2.5 million votes. If any of you here can call your family back home to say, vote for Mr. President, all of you here, I know you have 1 or 2, 3 persons back home. 2 million people talking to 2 persons. How many is that? So we do the arithmetic at the end of the day. But it is a privilege to stand here before you today at this Global Business and Investment Summit here in Scotland. Today is about investment, connection, and the courage to see Edo State as a frontier of opportunity. Edo.
Oh, we just saw that video now of the Edo State governor allegedly addressing a fake crowd. Now, we have a lot of comments on that video. First of all, what he said, now the fact that it's a fake crowd. So I don't even know where to start from, but I'm going to start from some comments that I saw on X. Sylvester Atiku says, charity begins at home. Can we start with the first father of the country? Now, this person is saying, the joke is on all of us who must come together and place people who are competent and fluent in grammar to lead Nigeria. Well, mouth. And like I said, I have said before that he is classed as intellectually challenged, but they thought it was banter. If he submitted himself to an assessment by a competent specialist and it turns out otherwise, I will apologize and give a month's wage. Up here says they tagged it an Edo investment summit, but the so-called governor said nothing tangible about Edo, no plans, no strategy discussed. He just wants to deliver votes for Mr. President, who made it possible for a dunce like himself to become a governor against the will of the people. Nigeria Must Work says Nigerians must be ready to do away with their affairs and end this shame APC has brought upon our beloved country. Nigerians, do everything possible to get your PVC and defend your vote on the day of election. Now we are going to start with everything that the Edo State governor said. And yes, I am going to make my comments on that voice. That's how he talks normally. Why are you saying with confidence? But I have some problems with what he said. He said the president has stabilized the economy. He said that he has made some reforms, even though they are painful, but we are going to see long-term benefits. Yes. And because of that, this is somebody that he will follow, right? And he now went on to say that he's going to give 2.5 million votes, right? And he now said to the people there that, okay, we have 2 million people here. If the 2 million people can talk to 2 people, you know, he was doing the campaign strategy, the campaign arithmetic. And you call this an Edo State summit. Truly not saying anything about Edo State, the plans that you have for Edo State, or none of that. But let's take your view on what he said before we talk about whether the crowd is fake or not.
Make I ask you one question.
Ask, I beg.
Okay. This thing shock you?
To be honest, it not to shock me.
Thank you.
It not to shock me.
I was
not to shock me.
I was not shocked because he's really learning from his leader. Ew. He's learning from his master. Is it not his master that went, you know, to the Etuti card to say that Nigeria is ready for investment, that there is no corruption, that the reform, he has made a lot of reforms and it has yielded a lot of fruit with confidence. Yes. The only problem I have with him is that he's not talking with confidence. He's fidgeting. He's not supposed to be fidgeting. You're supposed to learn very well from your leader. But it's for you to see. Fidgeting. Yes, it's for you to see what the president and Nigeria is breeding as governor. This is the same person that was actually invited by the court over falsifying his date of birth. from 39 to 29. This is the same. I'm telling you, this is the same person that was actually invited or was accused of falsifying his WAEC result.
The same certificate issue we just talked about.
That we are talking about. So he has what should I even say? I am not surprised by this video, and we already saw that it was fake. They said it was fake. But why is it that he's not talking about reforms in his own state? Now they've been, rumors. I don't know if it's true, but I heard some news about 16 people being killed in Edo State. I don't know how it happened or the rest of them, but I'm like, the people that you are calling for investment, are they aware that you've not tackled this, even though you came out to say that they should probe into the matter? But what have you done? Were you able to follow through? A lot of this thing, what is it called, dilapidated schools in your state. Have you fixed it? Have you worked on your infrastructure? Where do you want these people to invest in when they come? Let's say, for example, if they are real,
Nigerians we are talking to,
they are
want
real,
them to return.
yes, that's what I'm telling you. If they are real, if the crowd was not hired, if they are real, what are they coming for?
All right. Now, the Edo State governor will have to answer that himself. Now, to you, Mr. Maxwell, you've seen the video. You've heard what he said. All the things that he said is happening in Nigeria. You are also in Nigeria, except there's a different country called Nigeria we don't know about. Maybe Nigeria 2 and we're in the Nigeria 1. But from what you have heard and from, the suspicion and everything saying that the crowd was not even real in the first place, what do you think this says about us as a country and the extent we are willing to go to swallow what is dished for us by our politicians, Mr. Maxwell?
It points to one thing, that we are not serious about getting things right in Nigeria. That is one. On the other hand, it points to the fact that the APC-led administration is not focused on governance. It's not focused on delivering on any promise. They never made any promise in the first place, but they are just focused on campaigning. It beats me that a ruling party, a party in power, with barely 2 years to election, is already campaigning. And these are not just individuals campaigning here. These are state governors. This is Bola Tinubu himself campaigning, state governors campaigning on his behalf with almost 2 years to the next election. So they don't have anything to point to rather than rhetorics. Now, I didn't have the privilege of seeing the crowd to know how many people were seated there or if there was anybody seated there in the first place. But I think that if you look at diaspora remittance and if you look at the last election, you agree with me that a huge majority of the diasporans know what to do. They know where they should invest their money and they know what they should advise their people back in Nigeria to do. Because this is not what we should categorize as leadership. This is not what we should categorize as governance. As for the particular speech, as for the caliber of the person of the governor of Edo State, I used to say that my state, Abia State, had it worse. But I think that the Edo people have it worse at this time because they have a governor who should not even grace any podium to hold any public speech, judging by his charisma, his grammar, name it. His educational qualification, a state that has produced intelligent and people who have taken over Nigeria and put Nigeria on the map, on the global map. It's being ruled by a person like Mondi Pebolo. So these are the problems of government when the politicians take over elections, they snatch ballot boxes, they just find one way or the other to manipulate election, because I don't believe that this is the will of the people. So it is unfortunate for the Edo State people. They should just hope that all this menace is stopped during the last election, because there's nothing about him that represents the governor of the state or a person that is ready to deliver on governance to the people.
and I couldn't agree less. There is nothing that even shows that this is somebody that has the courage of a governor, not to talk of a good leader in the long run. But thank you, Mr. Maxwell Koma, for your contributions. We sincerely appreciate every time you join us here in the studio. And to you, Ifoma Odi, we thank you as well for always joining us in the studio every single time. Thank you for your contributions well. To our viewers who are always watching, we say thank you for your likes and your comments. They are a huge source of encouragement, and we encourage you to keep on doing that. If you're yet to follow us across all social media platforms, please endeavor to do so. Find us at Active Citizens on all social media platforms. You can find me on my personal page on Instagram and Facebook at Sharon Enemchuku. And you?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Mr.
Mr. Maxwell.
You can find me on UC Maxwell on all platforms at UC Maxwell.
All right. Now, till we see you tomorrow, do have a good evening.